Welcome to Year Endless. I am your host, William Ginsberg, joined by my co host, Courtney Chappell. On Year Endless, we delve into musical and personal history by diving into best of lists from print and online publications through the years. Today, we continue our look back at Blender Magazine's 100 Greatest Indie Rock Albums of All Time from 2007 with number 69, Nick Drake, with his album Pink Moon
Courtney,
from
do you want to start off?
1972.
Sure, I can start off because I heard one of his songs, cello song, when I was 18, and then I got his box set, and my favorite album was Pink Moon. I mean, I could really talk quite a bit and compare it to other albums. I will compare it to the previous album, Brighter Later, which is very, very produced. Lots of guest performances, lots of instrumentation. There's horns, there's all sorts of stuff in the background or accompanying him. And it doesn't suit him. This album is incredibly stripped down. It really does read like it really is him and an acoustic guitar. He wanted to make the album completely alone. He was incredibly depressed while making the album. This is his last album. He hadn't really made it in his own eyes. He struggled with depression throughout his life, so much so that he had trouble so much so that his voice is kind of flat throughout and breathy. It's like he can hardly happen. And so it's almost like this whisper. It's very intimate sounding. And again, it's really just it's like a man and his guitar and these very surreal, romantic, kind of compressed lyrics. And it's just beautiful. And then, as you were mentioning before we recorded, this album came on a lot of people's radar because of a commercial. I don't know if you want to talk about that.
Yeah, in the late 90s, Volkswagen set a commercial to the song Pink Moon from this album. It's led hundreds of thousands of people to go out and buy this album. I mean, previous to that, I mean, people knew about it, and there started being covers in the 90s of some of his songs. The general public, particularly in America, knew nothing about him before that point.
Great commercial.
Yeah, it is a great commercial, and of using popular music again. It's less popular music and in commercials. In the years since then, I mean, there's definitely, this is this really cool song set to this commercial, or the music commercial set to this song. In some ways, it's annoying to be like, I really like this song, but now it's like being used to sell things to people.
I know. I remember thinking, I was like, oh my God, that's Nick Drake. That's wild. And then it's such a nostalgic, the commercial, it's weird to say this, but it kind of does the song justice. And I was sitting there and I was, this is commercial. This isn't cool, but wait a second, this is a really good commercial.
I feel like car commercials tend to have some of the better music of commercials.
It's true.
Maybe that's a list for another time.
Right. That is a list for another time.
And then as well as songs that Apple's used over the years.
Oh yeah. Oh, let's make a mental note.
Yeah. I mean, I remember in early 2010s, Apple used Gigantic by the Pixies in a commercial for the bigger iPhone, maybe. Yeah, that's a weird song to have in any commercial for electronics. To anyone who's ever heard the song, it doesn't really fit to me personally, but I mean, it sounds good. So I guess it's what matters. Do you want to read off their little blurb about this album?
I was just reading it, and this is something I did not know, okay? The granddaddy of whispery wimp folk, which is mildly insulting. The English hermit didn't record much before he died from an overdose of antidepressants, which I did not realize. But his sainted image looms over anyone who ever shut their bedroom door and strummed the world away. So I didn't realize he died of an overdose of antidepressants.
I didn't know that either.
No, I knew he killed himself.
I mean, he was only in his mid-20s when he died.
He's at 27 club. Let me check on that though.
I think it might have even been before 27.
Really? Yeah, 74. Oh, it's 26. So yeah, a little before the age 27. Wow.
So I was going over some of the stuff on the page. I mean, it's an album that grew in stature far after its release. Some critics of the time thought it was that he needed all that instrumentation, that it didn't hold up without it. The 90s, when bands started and art singers started covering his songs, the box set you talked about was released, and that reached more, I guess, indie, if we call it indie fans, alt rock fans. And now it's by far the most well known.
If I can throw my opinion in there, Brighter Later, like I really felt like the instrumentation sounded kind of ridiculous. It sounded like Neil Diamond or something, just all this stuff going on. Too much brass, too much stuff. And then so this album, I wish there were more albums like this. It's and Elliott Smith, we can draw a little connection there. He also piled on some instrumentation, and I tend to like figure eight and all those a little less than
either or.
Exactly. So yeah.
If we want to move on, the next album
to a band I don't know.
It's to the hardcore punk band Descendants with their 1982 album Milo Goes to College. I love this album.
Okay.
I re-listened to it a couple days ago because I remember there being some lines that sound bad now. I mean, it sounded bad at the time. To get a little bit about the band, I think looking up the cover of this album will help you understand them a little bit more, because the Milo in the title is the singer, Milo Ackerman, and it's Milo Goes to College because he was going to college. So
okay.
I mean, he went on to get a PhD in molecular biology, became like a researcher and also an adjunct professor. Eventually, they reformed and they went back and they released more albums. Now they're having a tour this year. I don't know if it's it's past the 40th anniversary of this album. I mean, some of it as far as like the original pop punk album, and I can kind of see that. And also the cover has a like sort of stereotypical nerd on it, like a little drawing of a stereotypical nerd. It has it definitely has the bad side of nerdiness in some of the songs. I don't want to use the term incel, but I kind of like anger at, there's some songs that are angry at women, and there's some songs that there's a song that does call some like this asshole, which up to that point, like, oh yeah, this song has this asshole, and then calling them a homo. There's a lot of anger to this album, but it's also, there are songs that are so catchy too, which I think it might be being punk and then being a step towards pop punk. It's fast, it's catchy. The change when it changes into pop punk is of suburbia, being like of these, not from cities but these suburbs. I mean, some of the later bands are political about, we're just saying about girls and
girl.
I think most of the songs, but yeah, there are a few bum lines that I was like, oh, that doesn't sound
a little
great.
cringe. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, just like, oh, this is not. I think that the first song I heard, I think it's probably still the best song from it, Suburban Home. I'll play that. Did you hear that?
Yes, I could. Yeah, I heard.
It's very fast. It's a very satirical song about what he does not. Oh, I want to be this when he's really being. I do not want to be just another clone at Suburbia.
Yes.
I'll read the blurb. Good at science, less so at life. Milo Ackerman lashes out at girls, parents, and the so-called suburbs in red-eyed rants that sound great, echoing off half pipes. And that's actually, that last part is that tie between punk and skaters. Became a subgenre of skate punk, and of songs that sound good while skating, like a mixture of like a metal, like thrash metal, and of punk. I was never a skater. I played Tony Hawk, and I heard a lot of some of these songs, like of these punk songs, I first heard through Tony Hawk playing.
Or a virtual skater.
Yeah, virtual skater. Yeah, I would.
That's what a lot of I think later generations were.
I mean, there actually at the park that I go to a lot. There is a skate park there now.
Really?
Yeah, and there's all these kids like skating, and sometimes there's kids scootering on there.
Oh yeah, that'd be me. I need a handlebar.
It's really cool that there's this city operated park where they where they can safely,
because they used to just arrest everybody.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you're using someone's pool, like
totally.
Yeah, you're playing another song that I guess I could play one of the ones that doesn't hold up.
Walk down memory lane.
Because I mean they're short songs. It's hardcore punk. Did you spit on Darby Crash? So like we're like of people who joined who were previously insulted punks or like attack or spit on like the singers of the earlier bands, like Darby Crash, the singer for the Germs, one of like the great LA like punk like hardcore band. You've seen the decline and fall of Western civilization, right?
Yeah, definitely.
It's a great it's a great
It is. It's been.
documentary.
I mean, I
Yeah.
haven't seen it in probably over 30 years, but yes,
Mm.
I definitely watched it multiple times at the
Yeah.
time.
I mean, some of them come off poorly, some of them still seem pretty cool.
Yep, yep. Some of
Yeah.
them, I remember even at the time I was
Yeah.
like, wow, what a bunch of assholes. But then also,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want to be a part of this movement. A little
Yeah.
bit of
And so,
each.
yeah.
And you know, the Descendants, when I think about the Descendants, and when my kid thinks about the Descendants, they're thinking about the Disney Descendants.
Yeah. So I see commercials for that sometimes because I think there's still new movies or something of it.
Yeah, they do. It keeps going. And it's
Yeah.
about the
I never figured out
evil.
what it's actually
Yes,
about
it's very
because it's like,
confusing. It's a Disney musical. It comes on it's like produced by the Disney Channel, and the music's actually better than some things. Kids of the villains, like
mhm.
Ursula's the Sea Witch's kid, and Cruella Deville, and that's also relevant slash not
Yeah.
relevant.
Yeah. So we can move on to number 67 on this list, sticking in
Yeah.
the realm of hardcore, although it's beginning of.
Yes, in fact, and we're going to touch on one of the bands that was in decline of Western civilization, I think, right? Black Flag.
Yeah, so number 67 is the band Husker Du with their album New Day Rising from 1985. Yeah, I love Husker Du. I mean, particularly a couple of these albums. Even though I've not listened to everything, and I do actually want to eventually listen to everything.
Me too. I haven't listened to this album, weirdly.
It's
By
good. I mean, the
Husker Du.
production. I've been thinking for most of this past week about the production of this music, like
Yeah.
how I don't know how much of it's like the small budget, how much of it just sounds not the best. I mean, I've heard worse sounding punk, like worse sounding as
Right.
far as the production goes. The fact that it overcomes it and it becomes great is really
It's
like.
amazing.
The thing I will say is that because of some of that, I don't know, it's not feedback, but some of it's the sound, it keeps me awake. So like one time I had to like drive, I was driving home concert and I was driving like I guess around midnight and like really tired. It kept me awake for sure because it was like there's
That's
a sound
interesting.
to it that just somewhere in the mix of
Can't
it that just
sleep.
like can't sleep while listening to Sudo. Also, I couldn't until I watched a documentary about Minutemen. I was saying it wrong because I had just read it up to that point. I pronounced it as Husker Du.
I did
I just
too. My whole life, until well into adulthood, and
mhm.
then the internet and stuff. Yes, Husker Du. I think we
Yeah.
all said it in middle school. In high school, we were like, Husker Du. Have you heard Husker Du?
Is it Danish or
Husker Du. That's how I like
yeah?
to say
I
it.
mean, it was. I mean, because it was named after this board game.
I didn't know that. Wait, how
Yeah,
did
it's
they get the
called.
name?
It was this game that translates to "Do you remember?"
Interesting. I see. I never knew where the origins of
Yeah,
Husker
it
Du.
is a memory game that can be played by. Was published in the U.S. in the 1950s.
Husker. I was always
But
Husker Du.
yeah, I've loved Bob Mould as like as an
Yes.
artist
I saw
and
him
as like a
play. I saw him open for, gosh, not Soul Asylum. I saw him open for something.
um
Dog. Okay, I saw him open and he was very bored. He was looking at his watch. He was visibly so bored. The reviewers in the Tallahassee Democrat or whoever said that, and everybody was talking about it because he was just like eye rolling, looking at his watch. He played a very short set. I think
mm,
he resented opening, and I can't remember who he was opening for. Anyway,
yeah, I guess we'll have to
I kind of
dig
want to look that
deep and
up,
find
but
out. I mean, yeah, Husker Du got signed to a major label, but they had become like a super big band. They become like a pop rock band with like Sugar that Bubble became more successful, particularly with bands that could only really exist because of bands like Husker Du that combine melody with the force of like hardcore punk and the noisier rock. I
a
can't
second,
really. I
is he
mean,
gay?
he is. Yeah, he is gay.
That's cool. I didn't
Um,
know that.
I heard that
Not
it
that
was sort
we
of like yeah, it was that it was sort of like within that scene it was like an open secret.
interesting because
But yeah, I
you
mean
just think of
because
that real macho kind of
yeah,
scene.
yeah, the macho, yeah, it was a very macho, the moshing or the slam dancing and
Yes, I
the
mean Black
violence.
Flag and the misogyny and the homophobia of the 80s and
Yeah, some of the songs. I mean, once you know that, it really affects how you listen to it. It's like he did not have a happy childhood. That this is not the only Who's Could Do album, and some of that experience really comes through with that other album.
he's like
So
the Robert Halford of the indie rock scene, which is the
yeah,
lead singer of Judas Priest.
yeah, yeah,
That's
um,
interesting. I don't know that somehow is touching to me because it was
yeah.
such a macho scene. Okay.
Remiss by not mentioning Brant Hart, the other
Songwriter.
The tension between the two of them is one of the reasons why Who's Kado is so great.
Yeah, that's right.
And the different musical taste that Grant brought into it, more of the like some of this classic rock parts of it that were like cool. A lot of punk was reacting against that. Sometimes went too far and pushing away from the past. The little blurb: Midwest hardcore survivors in punk versus pop deathmatch, in which Bob Mould's howling guitar fought Grant Hart's sensitively surly songs about girls and books to a tense and thrilling stalemate.
Yeah.
Some of my favorite moments are
the more poppy songs, as well as the hardcore, like very noisy parts too. Both the songs that are listed on here on I Apologize and Books About UFOs are both really great. There's also a song in there that's really creepy that if you do end up listening to it, you can skip that song. Because I did want to re-listen to it because I was like, okay, I remember this one because it's very memorably creepy. If you pull up the track list, you'd probably be able to tell which one to.
Okay. From this album? No.
Yeah, from New Day
Okay.
Rising.
Okay. Track listen. Well, yeah. I'm
Yeah.
personally, I don't know how explicit track 13 is about.
Yeah. So it's, I guess I'll explain it just for.
Yeah.
It's the noisy guitar backing to sort of spoken wordish kind of horrifying business of raising rats and cats, and that the cats will eat the rats, will be fed the rats, and then once the cats have been skinned, the rats will then eat the cats.
Beautiful.
Feed the cats to the rats and the rats to the cats, and get the cat skins for nothing is the
Wow.
So we can move on, and we'll have more time to in later episodes
Talk about them again. Yeah, this is really interesting.
So number 66 is an album that I had heard about years ago, but never got around to listening to until preparing.
I've
for
never
this
heard of this.
It's fairly obscure, but it's the band
Great.
Young Marble Giants with their album Colossal Youth from 1980 on Rough Trade. The blurb is: the quietest punk band ever. Allison Stan sings just above a murmur. The Moxon brothers barely brush at their instruments, but their songs are mostly about things left unsaid, and there's an enormous tension lurking in all of that empty space. But yeah, it's
a post-punk band
from UK that it is very minimalistic. It's very beautiful, and it does not sound like something from 1980. It sounds like something from like the late night, like the early 2000s. One of the bands they mention, Bell and Sebastian, I can hear some of that. Although the instrumentation sounds a little bit kraut rock, but also like the use of drum machine. Another like siblings band, continuing theme. And so I'll play one of the songs from it. The funny thing is that while I was playing it, my one of our cats was in the bed, and then he was, you know what? I'm not care for this. I'm leaving. Would you think it'd be one of the noisy bands? But no, I think it's just like the sound of like the percussion or the sound of the guitars. What do you think?
I like it. I don't see any kind of punkness. Is that a drum machine? It was a little hard to hear.
I think it was a drum machine. Because there is some early electronic to it, like sound to it.
Yeah.
And I believe just that one of the brothers was built would make like this sort of lo-fi electronic
that's cool.
Instrumentation.
It's like a bedroom stereo lab.
Yeah, it definitely is a band that I'm sure Stereo Lab listened to. But yeah, they only released one album before they broke up. They're Welsh. They're from Wales.
Okay.
Yeah, like a low tech, high electronics in there. But yeah, no, it's very minimalistic. Yeah, it does not sound like post punk of that time. It really does sound like
it's
indie.
Amazing.
They reformed a couple of times to like the late 2000s for some of the big like sort of indie kind of like influence festivals, Primavera Sound, All Tomorrow's Parties. So I'm looking at the legacy little thing on Wikipedia, and continues another theme of this list, which is that this is one of Kurt Cobain's favorite bands.
Such great
along
taste.
with another band already listed, the Vaselines. Oh yeah, they were covered by Hole, they were covered by the Magnetic Fields, they were covered by Bell and Sebastian and Galaxy 500, which we covered last time. If you get it, I think it's one of those. Yeah, I think for some, it's fallen through the cracks. Cats might not like it, but I think humans will.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that experiment. I'm gonna check it out with my dogs.
Yeah, maybe it's the drum machine. I could see that, or like that kind of thing. Maybe the frequency of that or something is like
yeah, it sounds too clicky.
Yeah. So yeah, number 65 on the list is the compilation No New York, which documented the no wave movement in New York City.
Yeah.
Before I was looking into this, I did not know about this compilation. And I knew about
it. I had a different one that was also a no wave compilation, but it wasn't this one.
I mean, so I mostly knew about no wave because I was a huge Sonic Youth fan.
That's I had one that had an early Sonic Youth song on it. It was, so I thought that was this one, and I'm realizing now
No, this is from '78. This was before Sonic Youth was formed.
It was curated or produced by Brian Eno, which is pretty wild.
Yeah, he was in the city and he heard this music and was like, okay, this needs to be documented.
Yeah.
Yeah, they opposed to just recycling previous rock, recycling rock and roll, and that like punk was just rock and roll over again, reusing music from the past, and the classic rock also was rejected as well. I listened to the compilation. Some of the songs I did not like. The noise didn't work.
Yeah.
Didn't like because it's all very noisy. It's all very in your experiment, like that kind of in your face experimental sound.
I had a
Yeah,
feeling.
some of it I just did not like. Some of it I was like, oh, this actually worked. A long time fan of Sonic Youth. I can
Yeah.
and I like some stuff that is noisy. Some of them did not get into. I think one I like was Teenage Jesus and the Jerks. They all have great names. They all have great like punk kind of early punk names.
DNA is, I know who they are.
Yeah, most of these I did not before.
Portions.
So I found out there was a documentary about No Wave, and unfortunately I could not find it online.
Yeah.
And I found it on DVD, but it was like $50, and I was like, I'm not
Yeah.
I'm not willing to spend
that kind of money.
$50 for that's not in my budget for DVDs is very low. And I found it an Italian version of it for cheaper, but I don't know 100% whether I can play it because it might be in a different region and my player might not be able to play it. And I was like, even if it's cheap, but I can't play it, it's useless to like buy it.
Yeah.
Because I was hoping it'd be on YouTube or available for rent from one of those one of the streaming apps. I mean, it might be out there somewhere online, but I did not find it. I'll read the original document of No Wave. The 4 bands on this long out of print compilation, produced by Brian Eno, from the core of the New York no wave scene. Mars, DNA, The Contortions, and Teenage Jesus and the Jerks approach music as an extension of experimental visual art. Raw, gnarled, spooky, and disgusted with flesh. It is very raw, it is very gnarled, some of the songs are very spooky, and some of it pushes you away. It's not something I'm going to be like going back to regularly, but I'm glad I listened to it.
Do it.
We can move on.
Yeah, it's
Number 64 is a singer that I know you like.
I love this woman and we'll definitely talk at length about her. But you know what's weird is that this is not an album that I really listened to much. This is the only album by her that I didn't listen to much because it sounded a little too mainstream and I just didn't get into it. Isn't that strange? But it is the album of albums that everyone loves. That really was her breakout album.
Yeah, that is on some year-end list for Rolling Stone, which again maybe says something about why you don't.
And none of
like
her
it.
other albums are going to be on this list. I bet. I was thinking, if this one is 60 something, then this is her greatest album.
Yeah. So I did a somewhat deep dive, going into her music. Yeah, I did not like this one as much as the other two I listened to.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like a weirdo. I've had people be like, "What are you talking about?" Like, what I've been confronted.
Yeah, I prefer because I listened because I was like, okay. I feel like I need to listen to some of her earlier music before I listen to this. So I listened to Moonpick. Okay, we should name the artist. It'd be funny if we didn't, right. But no, it's more professional by far to actually mention who it is. It is Cat Power with their 2006 album, The Greatest.
Yeah. Sean Marshall from Atlanta, where I'm born. I think she lives there now. One of her houses is there.
Don't know where she lives, but
I do, weirdly enough.
Yeah.
Or I did.
Yeah, so the albums I listened to was Moonpicks from the late 90s, which is amazing.
My favorite.
I listened to I think this album before this one.
You Are Free is actually maybe my favorite. Yeah.
Yeah, her singing just reaches into my soul.
She's the best vocalist I feel like ever lived.
So
along with Billie Holiday.
One thing is I don't necessarily I think I'll need more listens before the words actually hit me. Because I was just hearing the melody and just something in her voice otherwise too just made me feel emotional and just some of the songs towards tears. Just this is so beautiful.
So beautiful.
For this album, for The Greatest, she uses vintage session musicians. Yes. And that might be that probably was catnip for Rolling Stone.
Totally.
And they're great musicians. It's that, but it does not. I don't know if it fits, as well. It was by far her best-selling album, which is
definitely
important.
And I can see that it's very high quality, and I do understand that it's good, but I just loved the darkness of her just composing these they're almost like half-written songs. Mm-hmm. And I saw her back in the day playing live when she had a very difficult time finishing songs and shows, and I just love her.
Mm-hmm.
And love that period. Where it was very strange music.
Mm-hmm.
And then this one, it just sounded a little generic to me,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a lot of people's favorite. Yeah.
It reminded me of like Adele. Or like,
Yeah.
I guess Adele before Adele, of like Amy, like
Yep.
a little bit of like Amy Winehouse, of that sort
And
of like.
yep, very classic. And I think her tastes are a little bit more. I mean, she grew up listening to, she wasn't allowed to listen to rock and roll. She had a very difficult life growing up, very religious parents, and she didn't have access to a lot of music till later in life. Anyway, so she listened to a lot of old records, R&B. And she just did she released an album of her singing Bob Dylan songs. So I think she has a real taste for classic vintage big sound kind of
Yeah, I
stuff.
mean, she heard a lot of a couple different albums of covers.
Yep.
Oh, wow, I'm looking at this recent one from what year was this? 2022, and there's so many songs. Are like, oh, I want to hear how she sings this.
Yeah, the covers album.
Yeah,
Great.
it looks like there's. Do I know what some of them like? Do I know which one this is? Is that first one? Is that a Frank Ocean cover?
Oh, it
I know
might be.
yeah, I mean, there's a replacements cover on there. There's a Kitty Wells, like a classic country singer. There's a cover of These Days that I mean, I know best for the Nico version, great one. Yeah, I'll need to listen to this.
Yeah, you should.
But yeah, so speaking of I've never seen her live, but I did read I guess it was for the 20th anniversary of Moonpix. The writer talked about seeing her live and seeing her back in the days when you could still smoke.
Yes.
The smoke in the air made it the visual experience of it.
Totally.
The blurb definitely starts off very sexist.
Oh, really? Oh, wait, let me get back.
A little bit, yeah. A mopey it girl stops freaking, finds groove.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Stops
Yeah,
freaking.
Chan
I
Marshall
like when she
raised
was freaking.
Yeah, Chan Marshall raised the stakes of her unrooted roots music with the help of vintage Al Green session men and made an indie rock Mary J. Blige album. For the playlist, do you want to include one song from here, or would you rather include one you like better?
Let's include an oldie. Let's
Okay,
include
yeah.
one of each.
Okay. Moving on to an album by a band I love, but I don't really like the album that much. Number 63, Nirvana with their debut album Bleach from 1989.
See them again, I guess, but this Bleach made the 60 mark.
Yeah.
3.
I mean, is it are they on? It might be separated out. I don't remember off the top of my head.
And Dave Grohl's not in the band.
No, it's not. He's not in the band yet. It's way more noisy. There's bits of Nevermind in there.
Yeah.
But there's also bits that they come back to, because I can kind of hear why In Utero is, that. But it's made cheaply. On this blurb, they put the cost of the recording their debut $606.17 on the sleeve. And it sounds better than $606, but it did not sound that much.
Totally.
Yeah, I mean, About a
Never
Girl
loved
sound.
it.
Yeah. Did you ever listen to this one, or did you just say?
I did. I remember, everyone got it after Nevermind, of course, and then everybody had it. To me, I mean, it was good, but I was like, clearly, it's not as good as all of their later stuff. I think it's their weakest album, right? Because they're finding themselves, and it's not memorable. I don't really play it anymore. Like, I listened to it a lot in middle school. I never owned it. My boyfriend would play it all the time. And so I vicariously learned about it, and I recognize all the songs, but I don't listen to it now.
Yeah. So, I mean, by the time
how did you get into it?
So I found out about it after I'd already listened to Nevermind and In Utero. I mean, I don't even remember where I bought it. It might have actually had it at like Best Buy or something. And I bought it, and I only listened to a little bit before I was like, I'd rather just listen to the stuff I like more. I was listening to it again this morning, and I was like, oh yeah, there's a little, you can hear what's coming a little bit.
Totally.
About a Girl definitely could be on one of their other albums. Their bands that influenced Nirvana and the Kurt Cobain love were finally reaching Kurt Cobain. I love his music. It definitely spoke to me.
Yeah.
And he should still be alive.
I know, it's a travesty.
Making like maybe mediocre music, but
maybe not.
Maybe not. Maybe he would have kept changing and influenced by different genres and made his electronic album, maybe.
Totally. Like, I mean, maybe he would have gone the route of Nine Inch Nails.
Trent Reznor.
Trent Reznor, and become a good dad to his kid, and made a happy song.
Yeah.
That everybody would be a little perplexed by.
Yeah.
And what would become of him and Courtney? Would they still be married? Who knows, right?
Yeah,
we all know though. Anyway.
So sad. Yeah, we can move on to number 62, an album with a very later on iconic cover. It's the band The Feelies with their album Crazy Rhythms from 1980. Yes, anyone who's into alt rock in the 90s would have seen Weezer's cover Blue album with like the band's on the cover with a blue background, and that was completely based off of this album. Musically, there's some of it. There's some in there. It influenced all these music.
No, I was so
Yeah.
pleasantly surprised to learn about them. I don't know, 5 years ago or something.
Mm-hmm.
Really, I mean, I'd heard of them, but
Mm-hmm.
then I listened to it, and it's so great. I love it.
Yeah, it's another nerdy album, or just like
Definitely
just like
nerdy.
uncool people.
That's right.
The music's really in like the point of view is interesting too. The riffs are cool. I mean, it is post punk. I mean, there's some the new wave. I mean, I think it is still. I mean, the lines between post punk and what's new wave and what's a straightforward punk band and like I mean, it's all kind of. It doesn't really necessarily matter, but categorizing it's fun sometimes to do that. But yeah, it is.
Devo
Yeah,
from they're from Jersey, I want to say.
Yeah,
Is Devo from
yeah.
Jersey too?
I think they're from Ohio.
Okay, you're right. They are from Ohio. Never mind.
Yeah, I mean, I think I know that partly because I went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Okay, yes.
And they had like a room of just like Ohio music.
Yeah. Birthplace of rock and roll, they say.
Yeah, so yeah, they had who would in Ohio sponsor that room, but it is it definitely gives. Oh yeah, the Midwest, how important it is to the beginnings and the developments of rock. I'll read the blurb. So geek chic that Weezer stole their album cover art. Indie rock's original jam band, obsessed over their piled up Velvet Underground riffs, like freshmen cramming for a physics final. Tucked away in sleepy Haladon, New Jersey, their distance from a scene let them pursue their epic geek power.
As someone from Athens, that Peter Buck helped produce them at some point. That's all I know. So they were big fans. Okay. REM. Peter Buck of REM, that is.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I think I recognize most of the names from REM. Someone says them.
Yeah.
4 members, right?
4 members. Yep. Mike Mills, Peter Buck,
Bill Berry,
Stipe, and Bill Berry. And
yeah, they're
got to be on this list somewhere.
I mean,
and they are. I can talk about them a long time.
Yeah, I'm assuming from one of their 80s albums, or I mean, and it may or may not have. I mean, it may or may not be your favorite on here. I don't. It's been a while since I've looked over the full.
I know. I'm excited to know because I haven't really looked ahead that far.
Yeah.
And so, but I know unless they're too famous.
I mean, they have Nirvana on here for like their
exactly right. Okay, the MIA on here. Okay, it'll be here somewhere. Although I'm not seeing them.
Yeah, maybe do a search for it. See if it's go up here.
Okay, they're here. Yeah, they got a good one.
Good.
All right.
Number 61 is the debut from LCD Sound System, LCD Sound System from 2005. And this is a chance to talk. We're meant a little bit about dance punk.
Yes, it is a chance to talk about. Let me tell you, I love this band, but I don't pass the time when I was finding new music. But every time I heard anything by them, I love them. And then I was just the other day at a party, and somebody played LCD Sound System and did like a karaoke to it. And I've got to get into this band. They are so amazing. And then my husband was like, he's like, they kind of are uncool right now because discouraging me. But, because I don't know, they become very critically acclaimed. They're kind of an NPR band. Hate that.
Yeah, they're more of an NPR band than a Pitchfork band, kind of.
I know.
Definitely, one of the music critics I do tend to read definitely has them lower than he had at the time. Just, I think they have.
Yeah.
I think it's part of them coming back, kind of like.
Yeah. Oh, really?
I mean, they made a big deal about their final shows.
Yeah, that's what I remember. That's when I first heard about them.
Magically Work on it. Yeah, and the documentary about that's really pretty cool. Yeah, I guess that's part of it is
But then he's like, I'm coming back. What happened there?
They came back like how many years later was it?
Not that many, I feel like. I
don't think it was that many because I know I think they released something in 2017, I think, but because their previous last album was 2010. Their next album was 2017. Actually, they haven't released one since then. That's surprising. Maybe there's other releases. Maybe there's some singles. Yeah, there's been some singles since the 2017 album. So yeah, it is a band that maybe in another 10 years they'll be cool again. But for now, they're not quite. I mean, because they were like the hit. They were part of like the dance punk scene, the bringing the disco into the dance floor to the punk.
Yes, and this kind of revival of my favorite genre, which is the sort of new wave 80s sound. He talked about in an interview about feeling this kind of shame about the music he loved, which was very Depeche Mode at a time when grunge was Alice in Chains is what you're supposed to be listening to. Yeah.
The early 90s was like once grunge became big, the synth was very uncool for
a couple years there. Yeah.
As far as the underground, I mean, there were still dance scenes that were but yeah, it was very separated. Dance, electronica, as it was called at the time, and rock were very separated from each other.
And that's
And
why we
like,
had
I mean,
80s nights, because those were the only, because there were no modern dance hits. So we'd have 80s nights so you could actually dance at a bar.
yeah, I mean, the R&B was slower.
Yep.
There was. We're also saying in the United States, in Britain, rave and drum and
Yeah.
bass and
Yep.
all that stuff. The garage was going. So
Totally.
in the U.S., that was, I mean,
Yeah, there's
definitely
no
not.
90s nights, but you do have,
I guess,
kind of
yeah, yeah. I guess, yeah. Are there? I mean, I don't think I hear of
but there was
any.
rave culture. That's true. There was
Yeah,
like,
rave culture and like the
mhm,
like softer techno.
yep.
And I mean, and a group. I guess one of the things that's starting to break down that wall was band mentioned in one of the first LCD Sounds of the songs. Daft Punk is playing at my house.
That's right. You're right. They were
Um,
the first to bridge this
yeah,
disparate rave scene and then your guitar-based music. That's
yeah.
right.
The LCD Sounds. I mean, you think of James Murphy,
That's the guy.
producer. Yeah, he was old
Mhm.
before, and he became.
Yes. Before you got
He was.
famous, I remember seeing an interview with him. I was like, he's already old, but this is a current
Yeah,
band. Interesting.
yeah. I mean, he's 55 now.
Yeah.
So he was in
But
his
let's
like,
hear it for the olds.
yeah. So I mean, he was in his mid 30s before.
Are
I
they
mean,
even
DFA Records, that was his label. Death
uh,
from Above for like of like the speaker setup. I re-listened to all of it because I did, for the most part with this album, I mostly picked around it and like listened to a couple of my favorites most of the time. Really,
yeah.
mostly Daft Punk in my house and Losing My Edge, because their following
Yeah.
album, Sound of Silver, is so good. And I don't know how this wasn't on
Oh,
this list. Like, it
yes.
is actually confusing. I mean, it was already
Yeah.
out, so like it was 2006. This was 2007. I do not know how, because that brought it together into like a real like amazing album. Also, this album is a double album. This, I mean, is a lot more like kind of like dance remix kind of thing going on. Some of it like the same song a couple times in a row.
Right.
Different, but like, yeah. And then, well, I mean, because I re-listened, the first half does like stand together pretty well as an album, and then beginning of this to Losing My Edge is so good. Um,
I love it
yeah,
so much. I know. I wanted to.
the list of all these bands, all these things that he said, pretending, like he was part, claiming that he was
Love
there.
it.
The great sound clashes. I was there when Can's first practice. I was there when the first Suicide show.
Yeah.
I told Captain Beefheart, if that you'll never make a dime. And then he lists all these different,
Oh,
all
it's
the Beach Boy
amazing.
hits from this year to this year, and then list all these cool bands from the 80s that at that time, yeah, we're not cool again yet. We're only starting to become, I mean, only in this years before this, we're starting to become acceptable again.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
so I mean I would and so I really I'm like after that party I was like I've got to go down this rabbit hole. And then
yeah,
Shane's like, yeah, they're so good. He's like, but they're not cool
yeah,
right now.
yeah.
And I
But
was sad. Maybe
yeah,
they'll get cool again. I don't
I
know.
think so. I think that happens. I think some bands become uncool for a while, become
Yeah.
a little bit, yeah, over.
I mean, certainly that was his project. His Depeche Mode and all that was not cool
Yeah,
for him in the 90s.
yeah. I recommend that, yeah, to listen to Sound of Silver and listen to Losing My Edge.
Yep.
And yeah, we sold our
I mean, I'm
guitars,
yes. I
turntables.
know.
We sold our turntables to pick up guitars because
Yeah, that's right.
he
That's
makes
exactly what
fun
he's
of
talking
the
about.
hipsters while being a hipster. He makes fun of it. And
Yes,
it's really funny.
it is. It's
Yeah,
meta.
and it's something I think of like of dance, which is cool that it can be serious but also like not serious at the same time. Our last album for today is
Okay.
number 6 in this list is the album Illinois by Sufjan Stevens from 2005.
That's a good album. That's one of the
Yeah,
last new music things that I ever listened to, and I was like, "This is great." And then I put down my MP3 player and never listened to anything ever again. But it was good.
yeah,
Do you
it's
like it? And what do you think about it?
yeah,
What's your
no, I love
relation?
it.
Yeah.
It's my favorite from him. The other albums are also good. I mean, some of them are a little bit more electronic nods into. It can be good, but not what I want from the artist. I mean, there are definitely albums where like, okay, I'm not saying this one's bad, but it's just not necessarily what I want from them. Um,
Right.
Illinois it's pretty sad sometimes, and it's very sincere, which I think is the most there is for it. Is like at a time, where irony is. It's a very different thing for same year, but very different from LC Sound System, where that's a lot of irony to everything. This is very sincere. It's very
Yes.
he means the stuff he's saying.
Which I
Some of
love
this-
in
yeah.
music, and it's more rare. And I think also that the idea of Sufjan Stevens is fun of a lot because it was so ubiquitous at the time. Everyone was listening to it. And I feel like I see a lot of memes and little TikToks kind of, it's not completely irreverent, but just kind of making fun of the whole Sufjan Stevens type of person and the music. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
maybe a
I
little
mean,
more.
I get that. Yeah, because I mean, it is.
Yeah.
Internet nowadays is so the culture is so opposed to being sincere and about and like saying what you mean. It's so cringe to care about things. There's definitely people who made this kind of music who were not. It was completely an act. I don't get that from him.
No, it's very
Um,
sincere.
The music is beautiful. It's well constructed. Like
Yes.
it gets really epic. It's really
Yep.
it builds.
Which I love.
It was
It's
about Illinois.
conceptual.
Yeah,
It's a yes.
and it follows through because sometimes there's this album's about this thing but it's, oh no, it's just kind of about that thing. It goes through Illinois. It is, but it's also really about his life and growing up and his struggles.
Yeah.
I mean, he claimed at the time he was going to do one for every state. So he did one about Michigan.
Right.
He did one about Illinois.
So I mean, that part was kind of an act. The advertising,
Aspirational.
yeah,
It did not come
aspirational,
to
and the
fruition.
advertising for the album. It was a big indie hit. I mean, there's so many good ones. Chicago is probably, I mean, it's the most played, but it's probably, and I think it's still the best. It's a song about serial killer,
Oh
John Wayne
yeah.
Gacy.
That's
and it's
right.
like, so me, I mean, I don't know who else can make a song like that, and it's hard to pull off, and he does.
Totally. Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
because like
And
that kind of,
managed to be sincere but not cheesy
Yeah.
or contrived.
looking at the song titles, they're so it's definitely 2005 in the song title length.
Really, I haven't looked at it.
For a while, but yeah, I haven't looked at a while. Oh yeah, those are some long song titles. I mean, that's something you can do, I guess. Yeah, once you're playing for the internet and songs are released on the internet and you can't have a song on the radio or like on the charts being "Come On, Field Illinois, Part 1, The World's Columbian Exposition," and Part 2, Carl Sandburg Visits Me in a Dream. Maybe like a public radio station might get to play that, but I mean, even if he's not cool right now, still some of the best music of that decade, and I mean, and of I'll just say it, of all time. Let's go with that. Whatever.
Yes. Okay, let's do it, man. And let's bring
Yeah,
it back.
I
and I
mean,
have a feeling it
yeah.
will be
New sincerity will
it's-
come again. It'll be new,
exactly.
new
exactly.
sincerity.
Glad you like it. I wasn't sure how
Yeah.
you felt about the old Soup
Soup,
Jam.
yeah. They definitely in Florida pronounced it like stuff. Stuff.
Yeah.
Soup jam.
Soup Jam. Soup Jam Stevens. Y'all listen to him?
All right. That will be it for us for this episode. For Courtney Chappell, I'm William Ginsburg, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
You can reach us at yearendlesspodcast@gmail.com. All music is courtesy of Shane Parrish. Until next time, for my co-host Courtney, I'm William, signing off from the Tar Heel State.